everybody, it's Valerie, and it's Saturday, April 4th, 4/4/2020. That's a lot of even numbers. I love even numbers. I love them. That's my favorite. And today we're going to do the windmill and the tulips. It's a very, it's full of spring symbolism because the tulips bloom in April, and this is a picture that would be in the Netherlands or where the Dutch people live. And I did a little reading up on the windmill so that I would know how it was put together. I've changed this picture just a little bit from the one that I used for the advertisement. But are we ready? Because I want to get started. I don't want to talk so much because it's boring. Am I ready?
Well, 4 people.
All right, that's good enough. Okay, the rest of you can figure it out later. All right, the first thing I'm going to have us do, we want to have a good enough space for our windmill, okay? We're going to start with a line that's right here for the land that our windmill sits on. I'm going to use kind of a yellowish green for that, kind of an early spring green. I want to have a nice, section here for my flowers, but I don't need half the page. So from top to bottom, find the middle, and then let's go down a little bit, and I want you to give me a line that runs across like this. Okay? We're going to fill it in a little bit, so if it's a little slanty, sometimes hold your paper up and see if it looks tilted, and if it does, add a little on the bottom or add a little on the top to even it out. Because this is water settles flat, so we want to try to make this as horizontal as we can. There's some trees and stuff that grow along, so we're just going to go and wiggle this line around a little bit, up and down, maybe a little bumpy, whatever, and we're going to fill this in, okay? Super easy. This is a great way to get started, okay? Very nice like that. And you know what? While we're at it, we're going to put a little line of green right like this, because that's going to be the reflection, and that's the whole thing with water, is to be reflecting anything that's happening in the sky or on the land that's near the water has to be accounted for in the water one way or the other, even if it doesn't look fancy. Oh, this isn't great. Okay, I've got Timmy here, he's drawing along with me, and Daphne is my what do you call it? Production assistant. Oh. My cameraman. Well, we want to give you a more important name than just camera girl. Okay. Camera person. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with my charcoal. So if you have a pencil, same thing. Find the middle of the page and then just go down a little bit from there. And go across and give that some wiggles, some squiggles and wiggles, or whatever way you want to do it. Okay? And I'm going to just smudge that in with my finger. Okay? Doesn't have to be dark. And again, while I'm at it, I'm going to put a little sense of the greenery in the water. Not, the inside family joke. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start drawing our windmill. And the windmill it's not, what do you call this, color blocked? It's not two different colors. The idea is that this is in shadow, okay? I have 2 shades of brown. I have a light brown, light goldish brown, and then my reddish brown. This is what I'm going to go with. Find 2 colors that you want to use. If you want to make it purple, get a dark purple and a light purple, okay? We are going to start. I'm going to start with a lighter one. If you're not sure you're going to get it just how you want it, take a yellow or something that you can color over, and it'll disappear. We're going to start with a line that's right here, all right? We need some space, up at the top for your windmill. These are called sails or blades, okay? See, I did some reading up. But get this line up there a ways. Like, this is too low. You should have a little windmill if you do it here. So I'm going to go right about here, and I'm going to make myself a line that goes across like that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
You do yours as lightly as you can, okay? And then I'm going to go down below here, and I'm going to make another line that's just above my greenery that's a little bit longer than that one, and I'm going to bring that down like this. Okay? I'm going to come from this line, and I'm going to just bring this over like this. And I'm going to come from this side, and I'm going to bring this over like that. We'll start with that. I'll do it again down here. Why am I not holding my charcoal? Okay. So I'm finding the part right there. Alright, then I'm going to find one down here. It's just a little bit longer. There's all kinds of styles of windmills. So there's not just one way of making it. So don't worry, you can create your own style. Okay? Alright, now this is what I found out is that the piece on the top can rotate so that it can catch the wind in different directions, because in Northeastern European the wind is variable, so we need to have that. So this piece, isn't that cool? Mm-hmm. So this piece is a separate one, and that you can round that around like a rainbow. Okay? Same deal down here. Doesn't need to be bigger than that one. All right. Now we're going to set up where the shadow is going to be. And this one is kind of half and half, but I don't think we need to do it half and half. I'm going to do a third instead, so we can practice.
I think Ruby says so many fun facts.
I read up on it today when I had my coffee in bed, in my bedroom, on my iPhone. I checked it out. All right, and then I even got a lesson from Tim on, what would that be called? Gear stuff. Yeah, it was cool. All right, take about a third of your piece right here and down to here, and then use the same line that piece up like that. All right. A third. That means if you took the piece and divided it into 3 equal pieces, that's a third. All right. Take your light one, color in the left side, unless you would like to be doing it in the other direction, Erlene. You can do it any way you want, but just be consistent. This doesn't really, we're not doing much with shadows in this, so, but just this piece. Okay, so I'm going to do the light side there and the dark side over here. Alright, we're going to add a little bit of more detail to this, but I'll save that till we grab the black at the end to do the blades, because we're going to do those last, because it doesn't make sense to do them early on and then have to draw, you know, color your sky in there around that, if you're going to do sky. I know it's hard sometimes to wait for the favorite things, but so on the darker one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to color just the darker side, and then I'm going to smudge it into the lighter side. Who else is watching besides Ruby? Is Alex watching?
Well, I think they watch together, don't they?
Usually, unless he has to do something.
Grammy's on.
Hey, Mom. Who knew she was going to find at the age of, what is she, 87, that she's an artist. Okay, I was going to say, what's next? I guess I'm the one who has to know. What is next? I think the sky, right?
Yes.
Let's do the sky, get that out of the way. I've done both of the same parts down here. I'm try not to go too fast, but I don't want to bore you with me coloring things in. So I don't know. So if I realized that one of the things you may be picking up on that is going to be great is that just by not wanting to color in so much blue, you're learning to make your clouds a lot bigger, and realize that, like in this sense, you know, that this whole back here is light, so I can make a line, you know, kind of a light line that goes across like that, and this whole bit is going to be sort of cloud. Okay, you might have a little blue down here, but generally what happens is it's very light down near the horizon line. Mm-hmm. See how it's darker at the top? That's actually, if you go outside, today's a sunny day, and if you look straight ahead at the blue sky and then look straight up, you'll see that it's lighter at the, you know, down low, and then it's going to be a lot more dense at the top. Okay, and then I'm going to have a little peak bit of a cloud, oops, over here, and a bigger one up here. Again, that way I don't have to color in so much. Alright?
Alright.
Alright. I keep wanting to use a different color blue for the sky, but I like this one so much I can't help myself. I love it. going to do this down here. So the tricky thing with the, you know, if you're using the charcoal is not to get the edge of the cloud really dark, because it's not. If you squint your eyes, there's barely a difference between the value of the sky and the value of the cloud. So I'm going to try to do that a little differently today. So I'm going to go on this edge of my charcoal real light like this. Again, I can use my eraser too. Let's see, make a nice big cloud that comes over here. And one here, maybe one up at the top. Okay, and then I'm just going to try to use the side here a little bit. If you can't, it's not a big deal. Don't let it get you down. Drawing, this should be fun. You know, and I was thinking about how sometimes people are like, oh, you know, what good is, you know, how can you learn how to draw if you're following along and she's telling you what colors and things like that. But I compare it to learning how to play music. And, you know, if you start taking piano lessons, you don't arrive at the piano teacher's house and say, okay, listen to me play and then teach me. You don't just, like, play whatever you want and then have your teacher supposed to be like, well, how do I, you know, what do you say when I don't know what you're trying to do? So with this, you sort of learn, you know, just the same way that you learn vocabulary when you're writing, you know, you're writing something. You don't just make up your own words all the time. You have to, like, have some skills. You have to have some tools, and you know how to use them. And then you take these skills that you've learned how to do it, and then you go and you make whatever you want to make, and that's the plan, right? And in the meantime, you're making something. Okay, sky's good. Okay, right? Am I good, Daph?
Yeah, close.
Okay. Are you ready, Tim?
Yep.
Okay. If Tim's ready, everybody's ready. All right. Let's finish the windmill, and then we'll go to the flowers. That way, if you're sitting there, you're not going to be rubbing your hand all over your flowers when you're working on them. Okay? What?
Mm-hmm.
All right. To draw the little fancy, what do you call that? The net, the grid, the whatever. You might want something smaller because it is pretty tiny, and it would be nice to have that nice texture. This is kind of a big pastel to use for that. So I think I might do it with a pencil. Don't use you could use a pen too, like a ballpoint pen, but don't use your like Sharpie fine points, because if you're using pastel, because it will get all caught up in it and be gross. So I'm going to find the middle. Keep in mind that the blades have to turn. So if you make them way taller, or like one piece way bigger than your actual windmill, then they are going to hit dirt when they're going around, right? So don't do that. Okay. They're not super, super long. So I'm going to start in the cap part, because that's, you know, on the part that turns. And then what I want to do is to have them be one continuous piece. So I'll start in the middle, and I'm going to come out this way. All right, and then I'm going to go in the opposite direction, try to make a straight line as much as you can. If you don't make a straight line, don't let it get you down. It's not a big deal. If it's a little wavy or floppy or, you know, uneven, nobody cares, right?
Right.
Just a picture. It's not, you're not doing brain surgery. If you're doing brain surgery, then I would like it if you were attentive to detail. But not with this. Don't worry about it. So we'll say that they're basically the same size. So kind of check them, see if they look, or hold it up in front of you. You'll be able to tell. All right. So I'm going to take one of these nice soft pencils that I have to do the this part. And this is a Prismacolor Ebony. All right. I'll try to do it. My arm's probably in the way, but and they don't go all the way in. It's a little awkward for me to do it this way, but this one has 3 stripes going that way, I guess. All right, so go ahead and do that part. And they are all pointing in the same direction, so you can be Oops, I didn't do it like that.
Oh dear.
Whoops. All right, this one should be going the other way, but that's all right. See, like I said, it's not brain surgery.
You can't really see the...
What? The lines?
Yeah, make yours a little darker.
Can you see them now?
Kinda.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, I'm just making. I'll do it with the black too. So, with the charcoal, I got myself my pencil, and like I said, I don't always use the pencil just because you're constantly having to sharpen it, and they constantly break, and the next thing you know, you have like a stub of a pencil. But it's ideal when you're doing maybe eyelashes and something really careful, or in this case, this part. So I am going to do that. I'll try again, see if I can get them to go in the right way. So I start with a dot in the middle. Like I said, I don't want to make them too long. All right. Can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. I'll draw those first, and then they're thicker, so you can just kind of thicken that up. Oh, yes. Oh. So if you... I'm saving it for when we do the tulips. My fun fact on tulips.
Oh.
Okay, now I'm going to try to get them going the right way. So if you are just starting to watch, you can catch all of these videos on my Facebook page, Valerie Wallace Fine Arts. You can go to videos, and they're all sitting right there. Or you can also use YouTube, free drawing classes with Valerie Wallace Fine Arts. You can find, I think this is maybe number 16. And you can find them there, and you should be able, they all have a picture with them so you can kind of see what it is. But sometimes it's, you think, oh, I did it wrong again. I wasn't thinking about it.
No, it's not wrong.
Is
Well,
it? Oh, this one's...
Yeah.
You gotta go opposite of the other.
Oh, wow. Like, good thing it's not for the, Dutch windmill
You got
kit.
a soggy tulip field.
When you get the kit and you're supposed to put it together. Yeah, so anyway, this is number 16, and something might obviously be something that you would like to do, but try something you didn't think you would be able to do, and sometimes those are the most satisfying because your expectations are really low, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, this was like good. I've seen it all the time. All right, you could put, there was a place to make some little windows like in that, or something in the top part. You could put a couple of windows like this so you can see when you get some light in there. On the one in pastel, let's make sure we've accented the places where it separates. Okay? Same thing, a couple of windows. Alright. Good? Okay. Alright, so we want to do the flowers. The thing I want you to notice in this picture, two things. One is there's 3 different size flowers. We've got some super big ones, really big ones. This is like going to be the size of your, more than half the size of your windmill. And then the other thing is that there's not separate space between all of the flowers. Like there might be one you kind of see on its own. But if you look at a field of flowers, they're not spaced out. These flowers grow in like fields of long columns, and they just look like the color of the flower. You don't even see any of the green. So don't feel like you have to do them all separated out. If you want to, go for it. That's great. All right, I'm going to put down my browns, and I'm going to get the colors. And I'm going to try to use 2 different colors on every tulip that I make. So if you have, if you have 2 shades of pink, that would be great. So I'll start with that. Another thing is like this one, and they're, basically I think you know what a tulip is, but it's a U shape with kind of a jig-jaggedy top to it. So a lot of times we draw them with just 3 little points. And that's sort of a symbol of a tulip, but you know, you can do with that or not. So this one I'm going to make pretty big, and I'm just going to make it coming off the bottom of the page. Remember that we're leaving a little space in here. If you want, you don't have to have water in there, but if you're leaving a little space in there, so you don't have to go higher than this. So I can make something kind of like that. Another one maybe here, and something over here. The one thing is, well, actually, they probably some aren't open. So the smaller ones obviously would be farther away. They're not mini ones, right? Oh, and alright, so I'm going to use a little dark pink, and then I'll just put a little light pink just to, well, mostly just because I want to use more than one pink because I love pink. It's so pretty. I love the jewel tones. Okay. I'm gonna make a few red ones, sort of like that. So what I'll do is probably make a few shapes, a little smaller, and then sort of they're just gonna overlap. But that way, if I have more than one color, I don't just make a blob. But that would sort of be what it would look like anyway. And then maybe make it bigger. You don't need to leave much space for the green, okay? So what I learned also is that originally tulips came from the, well, I think they said the Ottoman Empire, but it's modern day Turkey. And somebody brought them to, I forget the guy's name, brought them to the Netherlands or whatever it was called at the time, maybe Flanders. Did I say that this was in the late 1500s? And they just took off. They were just, maybe it was a particularly good place to grow them, but people went nuts for them. And that's when they started becoming, cultivated them, and that's when there's all kinds of paintings. I'm actually reading a book right now that talks a lot about, it's from something about DeVoe's stealing painting, and they everybody was painting pictures of tulips, and they called it tulip mania. Tulip mania, I like it. Alright, I'm going to have a few over here. And that went on for quite a while, and they're still super popular and everything, but it was crazy that people all over the world wanted them, even back, you know, what, almost 500 years ago, which is crazy, I think. Think that's crazy, Dad?
So crazy.
And they come in a bulb, and you put them in your ground. We grow them around here. You put them in the ground, and they stay there all the time. And then every spring, they pop up. Tulip mania. I like it. All right, we're coloring in lots of color. Okay. A little bit of green is nice to have for a contrast. So I'm going to put a little bit in here. I've got a dark green and, oh, I have to draw them down below too. Okay, hang on to that. You guys, oh no, look what I did!
Right through the water in?
Oh no, I didn't even notice you were doing that. Wow. We're off today.
Do you see?
Oh, yeah.
For the color. Well, it's kind of like those black and white photos with one color that shows.
It is. Yeah, people love that. People love the gray
I'm
paint.
sorry, I didn't even know.
Are you gonna do black?
Yeah, I'll do black ones up here.
Okay.
It's
No one's like gave
No
you a
one- no
heads
one
up
knew.
on
Even
it.
anyone notice?
No, I didn't
I
notice.
don't know. Dawn.
I thought maybe you were doing that. Well, maybe other people thought you were
I
doing that.
just wasn't even. I was so excited about giving my fun facts that I didn't even notice what I was doing. Oh well, whatever. Who
This
cares?
is turning into a podcast. That looks cool, right?
Yeah.
You didn't even look.
It does.
You didn't even look. Story of your life.
Yeah.
Well, I did. I was gonna. I knew it was gonna look cool. You wouldn't ask, but
Oh yeah, all the paintings with the somebody with a red umbrella and a
Yeah.
gray what do you call that? Eiffel Tower. Yeah.
Yes.
No. Why? I mean, nothing wrong except why make it all gray? You know, you could make it when you could make it blue instead of gray. That's what I
Okay.
think.
You could do that.
Nothing. I love drama. I love a little drama to my pictures, but I don't want to paint a whole picture of gray and then a little red when I could use all kinds of colors. I mean, what's that about? It's so fun. Get the same effect. Okay, how's that? All right, so I'm gonna put
It just looks funny.
Yeah, whatever.
Gray tulips.
Whatever. I don't care. So a little dark. One of the things, like if I'm doing this as a painting, which I did in the past, so to be careful that you don't get the green that's down around the flowers too bright, because if you get or too dark, I couldn't really find a cool green like this that has it's a lot of green with a lot of white. I couldn't find a pastel like that, so I'm going to use this one. But I don't want to compete with the brightness of everything there. But I also don't want to get too dark, because if you haven't got a lot of flowers, the dark is going to overtake things, and it's not going to be as as colorful, and that's what we want. Oh.
Today was kind of a hot mess.
That's because I was busy outside with Daphne. We were raking the yard, and so I used up energy, so I'm not thinking anymore. Because we've had a sunny day. We had it rain like the floods were coming for a day, and then now we have very, very muddy yard.
Yes.
Yard. That's what we say here. Yard. We got a wicked muddy yard out there. Door yard. And I won't be able to take the leaves away in the tractor because it'll sink into all the mud. Alright, I'm going to put one more flower here. Okay. Is this relatively even? Yeah. Yeah, it does the trick, right?
Yeah.
We know what it is. I mean, what else is it? Besides a windmill and tulips. I mean, really. Okay. I don't want to forget to use my browns for a little reflection. How are we doing, Tim? Are you kind of with me?
Yeah.
You're good. Okay.
He's making this.
He's
flowers.
making a real... Look at that. I love.
So cute.
Alright, I'm going to actually pretend I'm going to do this one up here. So I'm going to put a little dashes side to side. And then... Where's the right color? Oh, here. It's in my hand. Oh, no, it's not. I guess it's this one. A little less. If I make a little space between, then I can put the light blue between these spots a little bit, which is sometimes kind of good. But just let that continue on. Don't just make dashes right underneath it, and then have everything stop. This happens a lot. Let these pieces of water, like that are reflecting the sky, let them spread out a little bit. But again, there's lots of clouds in the sky, which would also be reflected, so you don't have to fill the whole thing in. Okay? Just making it work. I really flubbed up. Oh well. What if I cried about that? That'd be dumb.
Yes, it would be. I kind of like the black and white one.
I like that. Well, actually, I like it both. I don't care.
Yeah, I kind of
it's
like
fun.
them.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting. Is there?
I don't think so. Seems like enough.
Yeah. All right. So tomorrow we're going to do, because I thought it was Easter tomorrow, I scheduled us to do a bunny. But it really isn't Easter. So if that doesn't surprise you that I messed that up too, like I guess you're not catching what kind of person I am. So, all right, hand me up. Let's get the phone in so you guys can have a closer look at the pictures. And the playlist is all on. Let's see. Oh, hey, Arlene. Hey, Ruthie. Veils. What's veils mean?
Veils.
Sails. Sails and blades? No? There's the picture. Jiggity Jag. Hey, Ruby. Who else is there? Hey, Christina. And Dawn. Oh, Bettina. Hey, Bettina. Jennifer. Yeah. Is Blaze there too? Okay. All right. I'll stop talking. Thank you so much for... Wait a minute. How do I do it? This way? Is it that me?
Yeah.
Thanks for... All right. Daphne's got it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to make a bunny. And if you can't watch it when I'm doing it, don't worry about it. You can watch it some other time. And if you can't figure it out on your own, just send me a message and I'll help you find it.